Hi there, it's Polly here with Lavender, because it's that kind of day. So I've just had my meeting with the State Attorney General of Western Australia and his senior policy advisor Jessica, who is amazing. Jessica is a real community ally, and the AG is actually fully aware of sort of the LGBTQ, particularly trans community. Thank God. So, right. It was entirely successful. It's taken a long time to work up to this. I had to see MPs to get recommendations, to see, other people that were cabinet ministers, and then finally up for the big one. Obviously, the Attorney General's like a fairly hard person to get in to see. But so, what was on the table? Hate speech laws. So we had hate speech laws proposed a while ago and they had been shelved. They're coming back again, but what's important for our community is obviously that they cover protection for vilification, particularly vilification for gender expression and for sexual orientation. So that is being handled. We were looking at I was suggesting we look at Victoria. Their legislation's quite good as a model. Obviously ours will be somewhat different, but that is being covered. It's good. The next thing to talk about was anti-conversion therapy laws. Again, these were promised some time ago. It's not like I'm instigating anything. I just was poking with a stick. We need those done, and the thought there is to bring those out at exactly the time as the new hate speech laws come through. You will also be open to all kinds of civil suits if you attempt to do conversion therapy. But the great thing about the hate speech laws covering vilification, and it lowers the bar for proving vilification. They were ludicrously high. You basically had to prove that lives were in ruins and that graves had been vandalised and widows and orphans ran screaming down the streets. No, now if you are out there screaming, fag at someone on the street, or if you're putting a giant sign up outside of a drag performance saying that they're pedophiles, you're nicked, me old beauty. We don't have to sue you. We just phone it in. The law will take care of the rest. So that's great. So those protections and the anti-conversion therapy laws, it looks like they will be voted and passed in the next session, so beginning of next year. And that also comes with extra laws for equal opportunity protections. So good news all round there. Lots of robust laws. And the way Australia works, these are pretty bomb-proof because you have to have a full majority government with a massive, like 2/3 vote in order to actually strip the rights off someone. So once these are in, they're in. A friend had pointed out to me that it is difficult to change your name and sex on a marriage certificate. It had just slipped through the cracks. We've got excellent laws now for changing your ID on passports and birth certificates. This one has slipped through the cracks, so we talked about that, and again it was like that's an easy fix because these things should all be done in the same way using the same legislation. So yes, it's just an accident, no one had thought of it, but so that's going to be fixed. And the other thing I'd found was that it's difficult for parents to change the gender and ID of their children's birth certificates. It was still the old system with lots of hoops and lots of bells to ring and ladders to climb. So again, it should come under very much the same system. So again, I think those will be enacted next year. They're a simple fix to legislation. We spent a lot of the rest of the time talking about combating the rise of the alt-right and Nazism. Now obviously the anti-vilification laws are going to really help with this, but getting a lot better with essentially like RICO style laws where actions done by these groups then echo down to charges against their leadership. Very important. Looking at, say, the Finnish educational model, which teaches children about avoiding scams, trolls, bots and radicalisation online, I think is important. I think Helsinki's our sister city in Perth, actually, or one of them. So, yeah, easy peasy. And obviously there's thoughts about how to stop young teens being preyed upon and radicalised by right-wing groups, which comes down to economics and community. So, but there was discussion about how, while there are certainly federal police task forces on this, there should be community, basically there should be parliamentary committees and community committees working on this. Recent events have shown that that's important. Very interesting to see how horrified they are by what's going on in America, so they are taking this stuff seriously, really seriously. So anyway, that was as good as I could have ever expected that meeting to go. These guys were fully on board and listening. So I didn't change the world here, but I did help in my little way to help make things a bit better, I think. I prodded about legislation that was in the doldrums and helped to get the wording changed and other stuff that's really important to us. So I'm gonna go celebrate with an ice cream, to be honest. It took a long time to get here, it really did. I had to do so many emails and so many phone calls and so many messages and see so many people at the lower steps. There is a message here for everyone that you can do positive activism and nothing's out of your reach. You just have to basically decide what you're going to try and do it. As for me, that was kind of the first tranche of things that I wanted to get done. The next stuff is, I guess, I'm going to have to look at putting pressure on the federal health system to try and get gender affirmation surgeries covered under our Medicare system. Alright, that's going to be another big job, but one thing at a time. Much love to everybody. Look after yourselves and hang in there. No doom scrolling. Things are getting better.